And so tragedy of the owner is that they are sitting in the most powerful position in the world, able to design their life, their business, everything. They could live in their zone of genius all day long. And they're not doing it because they think they should do somebody else's. Owners are the luckiest people in the world. Like, they get to do what they want. They get to design the life they want. They can design the company they want. And this is the problem. They're like losing it because they're trying to imitate someone else.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the Small Business Black Holes, the podcast that shines a light on the hidden challenges of scaling a business. Hosted by Alan Pentz, each episode explores the critical shifts entrepreneurs make as they grow beyond $1 million, $5 million, even $30 million, and move from brute force to sustainable professional growth. Stay with us as we uncover what it really takes to escape the black holes of business and scale with intention.
All right, we are back. Small Business Black Holes. Tanya is fresh off many Spanish festivals in lovely San Cugat.
A lot of jamon, a lot of hot jamon, sausage, and sun.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, what are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to talk about your latest post, Alan, right? Which was how to build a company that feeds you, not drains you. Do I have that right?
You do have that right.
It's an enticing title.
Yeah, so I've been doing this in my coaching, and it's part of the new app at OwnerRx. And it's going to be, so I had this basic philosophy. I mean, I didn't invent it. It's out there already. But that when you figure out for an owner what gives them energy in their in the company, right? So what activities help them get into like flow states, right? So flow state is when you're kind of sitting right at the edge of your capability, probably just past it, but you're fully engaged. And you're getting feedback from whatever it is you're doing, and time seems to kind of like disappear.
So it's what energy.
Yeah, so they get energy from that. It's like very alive. And there's been a couple of cool books by guys who research this. Like, his name is crazy. It's like Mikhail Chilbalovich or something. It's some crazy Czech name, and it's called Flow. It's a great book. But those are kind of the hallmarks of it. And so, like, for me, it's when I'm talking to somebody, and I'm trying to feel like another business owner, and I'm trying to listen for like, what is that big problem they have? Like, maybe it's something they kind of know, but they haven't really articulated, and you figure it out. You're on your way to figuring it out, and you're kind of getting on the trail, and then you hear it, and you're like, boom, like it's a big energy explosion when you hear it. That's like a flow state for me, right? People get it from all sorts of things, from running, playing golf, all these kinds of things. So like, I think that the real key is uncovering what the owner, where they get their energy from, and then trying to align their activities and their company to that so that it serves their energy and what gives them energy. And then once you can do that, you're in a zone of genius, right?
How do you do that? Find that out.
So I'm going to write a little bit more. So first we did an assessment that I released in the newsletter, and I actually built a full app that has authentication now. Like, I'm so proud of myself. And I did. It's like 13 questions you go through, and then it can take all the data you put in and hit the AI. Hits ChatGPT and gives you like a draft, like, zone of genius, what gives you energy, and then it kind of tells you about that, right? And then I'm going to build another piece, which is like, how do I go through systematically to change my company so that it aligns with my energy, and then I get into my zone of genius. And some ways I think people can think that's like a little woo-woo, like the energy thing. But I was really like at the end of the blog, I put in a ChatGPT search on it. And if you think about it, this is what the greatest entrepreneurs have done, right? So Steve Jobs built Apple to fully express his energy. And when he aligned it with that, it became the zone of genius, right? So his ability, I guarantee you the way Apple was constructed was 100% to get Steve Jobs's idea, energy, whatever it was that he did into to create the iPhone. So it's like when you, or like Elon, like think about how he structures his companies. It's bizarre, right? He's CEO of 5, 6 companies. He's just like coming around, but it's like perfectly structured to what he does. And like he does exactly the part that is his energy. And then everybody else does all the other stuff. And that puts him in his zog, the zone of genius. Right. And you think about that across multiple companies that, you know, like NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, he's got, I mean, it's one of the fastest growing companies in history. He's got some crazy number of direct reports. I think it was like 100 or 60 or, I mean, people are like, you're supposed to have 5 to 7 and he's got like 60 to 100. I mean, what does he do? No, that's how he works, right? So it's perfectly tuned to him and you can see the results. So I think, hey, look, you can call it woo-woo, whatever you want, but it works. So go do it, right? So I think this is like a really key thing. Like there are problems in your company and we work on those through OwnerRx. But I think once you go do this part where it's like, because here's the fundamental insight about it. Owners are the luckiest fucking people in the world. Like they get to do what they want. They get to design the life they want. They can design the company they want.
And for themselves.
And for themselves. Right. And this is the problem. They're like losing it because they're trying to imitate someone else. The way you organize a company is not based on Elon Musk. That's his thing. You need to do your thing because yours, and I see this with younger entrepreneurs too. They're looking for these models, which makes sense, right? But you got to look inside, not outside. Of course, look at what people are doing. Those are options to consider, right? Oh, does this feel right? Be curious about them, right? Does the way Elon do it seem right? Oh, well, I really felt like I didn't get this and that and I wasn't into it. Okay, screw it. You don't do things like Elon. It's his unique set of capabilities and energy and Zog that's important, right, for him. Yours is different. And so, yes, explore outside, read about it, try things on, but it's all about what works for you internally. That's what's going to be the power. And the sooner you can figure that out, the sooner you get to that Zog, right? So we're really trying to push you to think past what you read about in Inc. magazine or it's all on TikTok or, sorry, Inc.'s probably for like old people, but, you know, right, exactly. So wherever it is you're getting that news and getting those models, like just use it, just take them in. They're just data, right? And data's fun. You can play with it. You can look at it. You can model it. But data doesn't decide things, right? You do. And so the tragedy of the owner is that they are sitting in the most powerful position in the world, able to design their life, their business, everything. They could live in their zone of genius all day long. And they're not doing it because they think they should do somebody else's. Or they think, oh no, I can't do this because I'm gonna, you know, or the other thing I see a lot is my goal is to get this much money or get this much status or have my company be worth this much. Because that's what we hear about. Well, let me tell you what's going to happen with that. It's all great. I love money. I spend money like it's water. I love it. You know, I only go to hotels that have as many fingers as I have in my hand, right? So I am not some cheapskate who says money isn't important. I think that's bullshit. But the reality is every single person I coach, when I ask them how much money they want, it's like starts at 5 million and then they get 5 million, then it's 10 million and then they get to 10 million. Oh, it's 25 million. And then they get to 25 million. Oh, it's 50 million, right? So it's never going to stop, right? No, there's always more. I mean, look at all these freaking billionaires. They're all still trying to make money. They're all driving themselves crazy trying to make more money, which is a tragedy too, because then you don't enjoy what you got because you're you're taxing what you have to try to get to a future thing. You can get to the future thing without paying the tax. So my take is once you're in your zone of genius, the money comes. It will come. Just have faith in that. You're in business. If you have clients, you have something that is valuable. All you need to do is figure out how to get to what gives you energy and then align your company to it, and you will make money. All these finite goals of money, status, whatever it is, size of revenue, you will achieve them. It's fine.
And so what you're doing is you're helping people through that discovery process. I mean, among many, among other things as well, but that's a key role that you're doing in the beginning. It's like, what is.
And to be precise about the language, I probably said it myself, but I should avoid the word discovery. It's really uncovering. It's already there, right? So you're not going to go find some new thing that you never thought of before. That's
a good distinction, right?
Yeah, it's really just getting rid of all the detritus and bullshit and taking that off and then saying, oh, this is it, right? And I think people are too insecure in themselves. They see I got to imitate this or that, or I got to do that. I gotta, right? That's terrible, right? It's like I'm able to uncover this and I get to do this all the time, right? That's amazing. And that's when you hit that zone of genius, you will just go, right?
And everything else will come, whether it's money,
right.
Whether it's more time for yourself, whatever it is, and enjoy it.
Yeah. And the other thing I see, the other signal that you get showing this is like, you have all these entrepreneurs that have worked all their lives or spent years like building these companies, right? And they go sell them because they get tired, because they're not in their zone of genius all the time. They're only in at 10%, right? Which drives the company. They're still successful, but man, they're getting taxed on the other 90% of the time because they didn't design it the right to them, right? And so they get tired and then they they sell the company, or they just it's like, oh, I want to go play golf and, and travel the world, or whatever version of that is, right? Open a winery, and, so they do that. They sell their company and they go travel the world or play golf 5 days a week or open a winery. Guess what happens within a year? They're like, this is boring. Like, because they're not even in the 10% of their zone of genius anymore. They're in the 0%. And so, what is that? What do they say almost all the time? Some version of, I don't have purpose. What is purpose? It's what gives you energy. That is your purpose, right? So purpose is not, you don't have to attach to somebody else's mission, right? It doesn't have to be. I was talking to a younger guy the other day. It's like, oh, I need this big mission. I'm like, no, you don't. Your purpose is what you can. That's fine. I don't care. It's you, right? Whatever your zone of, what gives you energy, when you align to it, you're in your zone of genius. But that thing that gives you energy, that's your purpose, right? And so I'm not telling you not to sell your company. That's not what this is about. But it's like, are you going to continue to work on your purpose every day? Or, as much as you want. The company is just a vehicle, right? So then if you have other vehicles and this vehicle isn't as good, or it should be better, or actually your zone of genius is combining with this other company to be, I have a bigger reach because I just got bought by a bigger company and now I can spread what I'm doing and I know, great. That's a good reason to sell. Or you're like, hey, I'm doing it over here and I want a little more cash to help what I'm doing in another place that's perfect for me. Sell it, right? But like, we pour so much into these businesses, we don't even take the freedom that we could to redesign them to be in our zog all the time. And then we sell them because we're getting taxed, and then we lose. I mean, it's like a tragic story, right? Now, most people come back and they figure it out and they do something else, and that's great, right? But we have to realize that we are here to pursue our purpose, which is what gives us energy.
Keeps us going.
Right. But we get to do this. And then when we get that purpose and energy aligned with an organization or a set of things that can enhance it and make it easier and take away all the other barriers to it, now we're in our Zog. And like, to me, the Zog is like an infinite game, right? So Simon Sinek wrote this book about finite and infinite games. Getting a certain amount of money is a finite game. And the problem with finite games is that you lose all the stuff that you did once you get there, right? So that's finite game is getting $10 million and then getting there and you want 25 and then not enjoying the 10 because all you care about is 25. An infinite game is like, I do this thing, whether it's like I figure out how to help small business owners get more leads because like I love seeing them grow, right? Or I love figuring that out, or it's whatever, just come up with whatever. Mine is like helping owners figure out that zone of genius, right? How to get there and how to build their companies into it. And like, or for me, it's just really like finding that in everything, right? Like, what is that zone of genius for things? And like, once you get to that, the money comes. It's fine.
So is one of the hardest parts of this is sort of prying people away from the, I should do this, or I should want this, like what they think they should want or what they see other successful people have.
Because they don't have enough faith in their internal value, right? So they're either, and all, look, everything in our society is programmed to make you feel like that, right? That's why you buy stuff. That's why so I have sympathy for people. I'm not saying people are stupid or something. It's like your entire society is working to tell you to want more, to like whip you to like, go do it, go make it, go hustle, go. And I'm not telling you not to work hard and not to hustle. Just do it joyously, right? Like after something that you love, right? And it's not, the other thing is like, I do think there's this stuff like, oh, well, if you go do what you love, you're going to be like a museum curator or something like that. Maybe that's true. I mean, I probably need to think about that a little more, but I tend to think that those are also things that people say they want to do, but they actually don't. And like, if they really get into their energy and their zone of genius, it will produce this growth. And, I don't think it's about, the other thing I really like emphasize is it's not about doing something quote unquote good. So it's not about saving the environment. It's not about, working with puppies. That if that's your total thing and it's real, fine. It could be, but I think that that's also looking at what society says is good and then trying to adapt to it a lot of times. So you got to watch for that, right? Don't do something because it's given status as good by society. Do it because you love doing it. This is a completely amoral philosophy, right? So like everything that gives you energy does not have to be aligned with like some progressive, political campaign, right? You can be a conservative, you can be a moderate, you can be anything. All of it can be right. And like I would tend to think that, I don't want to go like into philosophy about it, but I would tend to think that like you're probably not going to do something evil if you're getting energy from it. And maybe a sociopath does, and we need to lock those people up. But everybody else should just go out and live.
Sociopaths, yeah. I mean, it's you don't have to be saving the world, right? I mean, if you're saving the world, great, but you don't have to. That doesn't have to be your passion.
Right. If you have some messiah complex, that doesn't seem healthy to me either, right? So that's just the alternative version of like, I'm going to like make tons of money so I can tell people to fuck off all the time, right? It's just like the opposite version of that, and they're both wrong, right? What you got to do is figure out what is it about you that gives you energy, and then figure out how to get that set up in the world so it serves you and enhances you. You get into this zone of genius, and then like the way I look at it is like going back to the Simon Sinek thing is like you then get to play an infinite game. You can just keep doing that every day. If you love it, why would you stop doing it? Right. And so now you have your purpose, you're fully aligned to your purpose, and you just like go have a great time making a bunch of money and enjoying it and not worrying about all this crap.
So it's looking for the sweet spot.
That's right. Yeah.
It's getting there.
Yeah. And I think, look, I can only interpret things through my lens. I see business owners and I'm a business owner and I have that identity. And so like, I just see us as like the luckiest damn people in the world. And like, if we aren't getting there to that Zog, what a tragedy. What a tragedy for someone who had so much opportunity to get there. I don't blame anybody for it. It's just more like, God, I'd love to see you get there. Right. Because it's awesome.
And that's what you're doing, is you're helping people figure that out.
That's right. So if you're interested in it, I put up on ownerrx.com. There's a link in the tools section to a Zog assessment. And then I'm going to probably hopefully next week, I'm going to write about, once you kind of know what your energy is, some of the blockers, like how do you put a plan in place to get there over time? And that's a really important part of it, right? Is like not looking at it as like, oh, I got to do this, or, I got to do that, or I got to overcome the, it's more like, hey, no, this is cool. This is like part of the game. It's figuring out what are those blocks to the Zog.
Uncovering.
Yeah, you're uncovering the blocks now, and you got to be curious about them. Because like, if you get tense and you're like, I got to get through this, you're gonna make bad decisions. You're gonna make quick fixes, and it's gonna blow up later, right? So what you got to do is be like, okay, this is cool. Like, I'm so lucky I get to go toward this thing. So let's be curious about what are the things that are keeping me 90% out of my Zog, 10% in. Okay, or try things, experiment, see what works, and then. Over time, you're clicking up 20%, 30%, 40%. Then you go over that 50%, where more than 50% of your time is in the Zog. That's awesome, right? So it's going to be really important in this. I want to emphasize in this next piece that it's not like this snap your fingers. It's a journey, right? The whole thing is playing the infinite game. And you're going to always be working on this. That's what it's about.
Well, it's curious. I think that a good point is the curiosity point. And we tell our kids that, right? Like, be curious always, like no matter how old you are. It's like the same thing within.
But make sure you get into college and get a good job. So.
Well, of course.
So we're doing it to them too, right?
Right.
We're not going like, go figure out what you are and play the infinite game. No, we're like, get into a good college. If you can play sports, that's good. We can get you into higher school.
1,500s on your SATs first.
That's right. So we, look, I'm not sitting here trying to blame people. I do all this crap too. I'm just saying, like, when you really get down to it, like more and more you can get out of that mode and get into the like, hey, this is all about, we're here on Earth. We have we're so lucky. I mean, first of all, anybody who's breathing is lucky, right? But, like, at this level in this country as a business owner, I mean, my God, I'm like in the top 0.1% of all humans of all existence. And so I should go enjoy it, right? Don't feel guilty about it, because that shrinks what you do. Go do the world business.
The only way to pay back life is to enjoy it.
And I'm a capitalist, right? I fully believe Adam Smith's dictum that you don't get your meal because of the benevolence of the butcher, the baker, and the farmer. You get it because they look after their self-interest. And so everyone going and doing what gives them energy and putting it into a Zog framework, that will make the world a better place. And actually I'll do another piece after that about how I see AI being a part of that. Because I had this revelation when I was thinking through this zone of genius thing, when I was working with the AI, and I realized, oh my God, this thing is helping me break down the barriers. It's a new way to interact with a computer so that I can do what I want to do faster, and I can enhance it, and I can get it to more people. That's what software does, right? So if I'm able to then create software myself without gatekeepers and having to go on, find a developer, pay all this money, go through all this, crap like that I'm doing right now. Oh my God, I can all of a sudden start communicating what I'm doing, my energy, get it in my Zog. The AI is basically helping you get to your Zog faster, cheaper, and hitting way more people. So to me, everyone regrets that AI is going to we're going to lose all these jobs, and there will be jobs lost, no question. Like when we came up with the telegraph, the Pony Express went out of business, right? Or whatever, or people with flags doing semaphore, they could only work in the Navy. So, yes, of course. But then it exploded 1,000 new industries that were possible. So think about it. If someone's able to take what they do, their zone of genius, everyone's got one, and they're able to express it more easily through AI, and they can scale it to people without having to go through all these gatekeepers. Think of all the businesses that could be created. Think of all the ways that people could live in their zone of genius and make tons of money, do whatever they want. And they're into this like one thing that's like, I was talking to a woman in our marketing agency who's she's like a high performance athlete. I don't know what she does, but I was like, look, you could just create AI to like connect to those people and teach them whatever it is that gets you going, that makes you into this, right? And so many people would want that. And now AI can help you as a 25, 30-year-old woman, like go extend that to all these people. Wouldn't that be amazing? And now we're not quite there yet. I still feel all these barriers. And that's why I'm like playing with the AI. Like, oh, when is this barrier going to go away? Oh, can I use this to get that barrier out? And one by one, they start falling down, and it's really cool. And you're in that journey with it. It's awesome.
We're putting you closer to your zone.
Yes, the Zog baby. Cool.
Love it.
Well, I think that's good for today.
All right. Good to talk to you, Alan.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Enjoy the festival. What is it called?
The Fiesta Mayor is coming
The
up.
Fiesta Mayor. Oh, sounds awesome.
We'll all be for shape at this time next week, but it will be worth it.
Enjoy the pork products. All right, see ya.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Small Business Black Holes podcast with Alan Pentz. For more insights on mastering the new game, follow @apentz, that's APENTZ on X, and make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, in today's world, you don't follow the rules, you write them.